Hello everyone, welcome once again to my channel. Coach Emmanuel Dogba here, reaching out to you again, and I am here to give you value, like always. Great value. Okay, so today, still in the series of how you can speak confidently, we are looking at a very interesting package under this series, and the topic we'll be discussing today is practice. That's right, practice. I read through lots of documents and materials, and I was doing studies, and there's this quote that I came across by Vince Lombardy. Vince Lombardy said, and I quote, it said, "Perfect practice makes perfect." Wow. Perfect practice makes perfect. You see, I used to think, like we were all taught and told, that practice makes perfect. But when I came across the words of Vince Lombardy, I started digging deep into the meaning and essence of those words. Now, Vince Lombardy said again, and I quote, "Perfect practice makes perfect." In one of my videos, I actually shared that quote. And I also talked about the fact that I used three illustrations, particularly the choir, the orchestra, and the live band. And I said that when you have perfect practice as though you're presenting, then you would see the difference. And so today I want to harp in on that a lot more. I want to talk more on practice itself. I want to highlight on it. And I want to share with you tips how you can practice your presentation and have a killer presentation. Have a presentation that will blow the mind of everybody that's listening in, that's watching you, that's, could be your video, could be your YouTube channel, could be anything that you're doing. But for you to have a killer presentation, these are some of the things you need to do with respect to practice, right? So before I dive in, do the deep dive, let me say this statement of fact, right? If you're very familiar with the content of your presentation, your audience will perceive you as very confident. And this is a secret. But I just let it out. It's an open secret, actually. When you are conversant with the content of your presentation, believe me, your audience will just give you 100% and a thumbs up, and they'll say, "That's the man. You got it." So how do you get to that point where you're very conversant with everything that has to do with your presentation? How do you do it? There are a few tips I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to make it 6. I'll give you 6, just 6 of it, okay? So let's start. Number 1. Don't just read through your presentation. Don't ever read through your presentations. Practice everything in your presentation, including the transitions, including the visual aids, everything in your presentation. Practice it over and over and over again. You see, when you practice over and over again, it's going to be a part of you. But when you read through your presentation, as you get on stage, you're presenting, you're reading through, what's going to happen is, if that material will be shared, people will switch off. And you know why? Because they were like, what's the point wasting time? He's just reading what he has put up on the slide, so we can as well read it later on. And so people will bring out their phones and try to do something else. But hey, when you take time to practice your presentation, the transitions, the visual aids, and everything there is in that presentation, and you begin to speak when you get on stage, people will believe you more than ever before. Now, I'm speaking from experience because I have done this. I remember a time when I started out, my first 2 presentations I did, I was literally reading verbatim what was on the slides. But as I went to do the second one, this many years ago, someone said to me, "Come on, you're just boring." It's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, you are." I said, "Why so?" So first of all, your presentation is too loaded. Number 2, you're reading everything to us. You would have as well just done a paper and shared it in the hall. And hey, you know what? That changed the dynamics for me. And I'm giving you this tip today. Number 1, practice. Don't just read through your presentation. Practice everything. Number 2, stand up and speak out loud as though you're already presenting to an audience. Don't forget, what I'm sharing with you here is the things you do before you go on stage. The period of practice. Stand up, rehearse, speak out loud, share the presentation as though you're already doing it. Remember, Vince Lombardy said, "Perfect practice makes perfect. So what I'm telling you to do in this second point, number 2, is stand up and speak out loud as though you're presenting already. Why do you need to do that? That's perfect practice. You're practicing it the perfect way as though you're presenting so that it becomes a part of you. Now, the secret with practice is this. When you practice so well, it becomes a part of you. So stand up and speak out loud as though you're presenting to the audience. It's a great thing you're doing for yourself, and it will help you become a great speaker, a confident speaker, and very, very important. And let me tell you a quick story here on this, based on this number 2. In fact, number 1 and 2, okay? Not reading through your presentation and standing up to speak out loud. I went for an event somewhere. I was invited by, I think it was a church, and I was asked to speak to a group of young people, large crowd, massive crowd. And so I took a friend's laptop, did a presentation, put it on my flash drive, and I told my friend I needed to just use his laptop that day. And he said, okay, cool. So I took the laptop, went for this presentation. I never knew that his laptop had some battery issues. He never told me, because it wasn't deliberate actually. So I got to the presentation, plugged in my USB and my flash drive. It opened up the presentation and we went rolling. Somewhere along the line, the hall we're using, I think they had some power issues. And so the projector went off, but my laptop was still running and I was presenting. Guess what? Just about 10 minutes into the presentation, the laptop shut down on me. Funny, isn't it? Yeah, I did. Shut down on me. Guess what? If I was actually reading my presentation word for word, verbatim, if I had not taken the pain to speak out loud and stand up and speak out loud and practice the presentation up to the extent of knowing all the transitions and the visual aids and all of that, I want you to imagine for a moment what would have happened to me on that stage. Guess, truth be told, I stood up and I was doing my thing because I knew what the next slide would be. I knew what the slide after that would be. I knew what the slide after that would also be. I knew everything in my body, my system, my head was having everything in there. And I finished that presentation and I got a standing ovation because something happened, something changed. Because of the circumstance I was faced with, I became much more passionate and I was speaking from my heart. I spoke so much from my heart that the people believed in me so much. In fact, because the laptop had shut down, I walked away from the laptop and I was speaking to these people from my heart. The only reason I could do that is because I had practiced perfectly. And so that story, that incident that day taught me never to depend on my laptop ever again because it just tells me that, look, if you don't have this thing inside, anything can go wrong. And so that's the key to practice. Number 3, ensure that you practice your body language and gestures effectively. Learn it, practice it, know it, let it be part of you. By the way, I did a video on gestures and using body language. I think it's a video before this or thereabouts. So look it up and you get all the details. But because I'm talking about practice, yes, it's important I mention this as well, but it's a video that expatiates on this point. So look out for that video on this channel and you'll find it. It actually talks about confident body language. That's the title, confident body language. So look for the video and watch it. It will share with you everything you need to know. And the number 4, practice in front of others and get their feedback. Okay? As you're growing in this business of public speaking and presentation, you need feedback. You need people to tell you, okay, good, you did well, this is fine, this is okay, you need to improve in this area. But hey, let me tell you something real quick. It's not everybody you just share your ideas with. It's not everybody you go to and say, okay, just give me your feedback. Some people might just tell you, oh, no, you bungled it down. Yeah, be objective. Open up your mind. Let them tell you what they need to tell you. But hey, you know what you want. You know what you're out for. You know how much improvement you desire. So get the feedback, filter it, take what works best for you, improve on it, watch yourself again, and then see how you do better than you did before. And how do you know you're improving? You go back to the same people after you've taken their feedback, you've worked on it, do that presentation before them again, and watch out for the kind of feedback you get eventually. Then you will know whether you're improving or not. So that's the fourth point. Number 5, record yourself. Stand before a camera, right? And record yourself. Get a phone holder, get somebody to just record you, do your presentation, face the camera lens, and watch yourself. Yes, watch yourself. Watch it again and again and ask yourself this question. Would I like to watch this guy present? Would I love to listen to this guy? Is this guy good enough for me to learn from? And if you answer sincerely, don't do it with pride. Be humble about it, man. Ask yourself, watch the video and ask yourself, excuse me, are you good enough for me to listen to? Do you have what it takes? And be objective. Whatever the answer is, rewind it, go over it again, spot out the mistakes you have noticed, work on it, correct it, record yourself again. This video that you're watching right now, I have gone over this video not less than 3 times. Yes, I finish recording, I watch it, I listen to myself, I look out for the mistakes. And most times I don't edit my mistakes in the video. I deliberately let them be. I like originality. People ask me, how many times do you edit your video? How many times do you shoot? Sincerely, this video you're watching, I shot it once. I didn't edit any mistakes out of it. I just put the caption, the title of the presentation, and then the highlights, and then the closeout. That's all I did. And boom, the video's ready. But you know why? I've been watching myself over and over and over and over again until I got to this level where I am. And you too can become even better than I'm doing. Okay? So film yourself presenting, watch it, look at it, make corrections, get better at it. And of course, finally, freely improve so that you don't sound uninteresting. Do well to improvise. You see, I tell people that sticklers, well, some people are. Sticklers sound boring most times. When you stick to the script and you just follow hook, line, and sinker, you're reading what is written out, you're not giving illustrations from what you've read out. Hey, improvise. You see, the world loves action. I tell you what, the reason why Donald Trump made great mark in the US was because, he improvises a lot. His speeches were never boring. He spoke from the heart. He improvised a lot. He said things that made people believe in him more. Look, learn to improvise. Learn to improvise. Leaders improvise. Great speakers improvise. Learn to improvise so that you don't sound uninteresting. You see, when you improvise, you sound more natural. People see you're spontaneous. People like the spur of the moment kind of thing. They like spontaneity. So improvise, man. Don't learn your presentation verbatim because you will sound uninteresting. I can tell you the truth. And if you lose focus at a point, you might forget everything. It has happened to me before. I don't want it to happen to you. It's embarrassing. Very, very embarrassing when you are a stickler, you're sticking with the script, you're trying to follow your presentation verbatim. Nah, improvise. This is my tip for you. 5, 6 of them. Utilize them. Enjoy this video. Watch it again. Yeah, watch it again. And pick out some of the tips that you have not practiced on. Practice them. Remember the words of Vince Lombardy, perfect practice makes what? Perfect. These words are powerful and true. So go over it again, listen in again, watch this video one more time, and comment below. And if you've not liked or shared, please do so. Like, subscribe, share. Do that. Just do that. Thank you very much. Again, it's from me to you, Coach Emmanuel Dogba. And I believe that this video has provided great value for you and will help you do better. Check the description section of the description of this video. You'll see the link to the Public Speaking Academy. Click the link, join the academy, and of course, you'll be glad you did. And of course, when you join the academy, there's a lot of benefits for you. Free trainings, subsidized paid trainings, and a lot more. Right? You can chat me up, go to the homepage, find out more, and we'll see you around. Bye for now. Look out for my next video.